Rolling raconteurs of Swift. It's Prof G with more updates for our Dungeon Dice app. In this lesson, we'll kick up the usage by allowing you to record a dice rolling session, listing and calculating multiple die rolls, and displaying rolls in a SwiftUI GroupBox. We'll also learn how to animate numbers odometer-style by using numericText content transitions. And this will set us up for even more awesomeness as we finish off the app in later lessons. Roll that beautiful big learning! If you're new here, welcome. You might want to check out the playlist to see how we got here. So we've still got a couple of lessons to go, but by the time we're done with this lesson, we'll capture each dice roll and we'll display them in a UI element called a GroupBox. We'll total up all of the dice rolls. We'll add a clear button so that we can clear out the dice rolls and start a new dice roll session. And we'll learn a new odometer-style numeric text transition. So we're going to start out real basic. We'll create an array to save each individual roll. When a roll button is pressed, we're going to save the roll that was just made, and we'll display all the rolls in a user interface element called a GroupBox. So why don't we start out by creating an array to hold the rolls. We'll add a property to this struct with @state private var. We'll call it rolls, square brackets. We're going to start out with this being an array of ints, and we'll set this equal to empty square brackets. Now we'll eventually change this to an array of custom structs, but we'll start out with ints as we build out the user interface. Now we got to make a change to our code because we've got a problem with die.roll here. Now this was fine when the die roll showed up in the message and that was it, but this roll property is calculated every time it's accessed, and what we need to do is we need to use the roll in the message and we need to add that to our new rolls array. So what we're going to do is set up a constant to capture the die.roll and then use that constant in the message and when we add it to the rolls array. So above the message we'll say let roll equals die.roll, and then we'll replace die.roll with roll. Now let's capture that roll in our new rolls array. We'll say rolls.append passing in roll. And now let's display all the rolls. We're going to use a SwiftUI view called a GroupBox. A GroupBox is a stylized view with an optional label that groups related content. You'll usually use this if you got a small amount of related data and there's not a lot of formatting you need. On iOS, this basically looks like a titled card. Now when we type GroupBox, capital G, capital B, we get a bunch of options. Select the option with content and label, then press return for two closures. Down in the label, I'll put in a text view that says session rolls. Then in the action, I'm going to assemble all the items I want to display using a for each statement. So the for each statement I'm going to use will be the one with data ID and content. The data will be rolls, the ID will be \self as it usually is. Now this is going to be a problem when we have multiple dice rolls with the same number, but we will deal with that. The element will be roll singular. And then inside for each roll, we're going to say text, passing in the string interp of roll. We got nothing in there yet, but let's click a few dice and look at that. We can see the individual numbers that we're rolling showing up in the GroupBox. Very nice. And let's add a divider view for a subtle horizontal line. Don't forget the parens. And below that, let's add up our total for all of our rolls by using a reduce function. We'll say text, in between parens, the string total, and inside a string interp, we'll say rolls.reduce. And the shorthand to add everything up is just between parens 0, plus. We see this starts out as 0, and look at this. We see that the total increases each time we roll a dice. Nice! Now it'd also be great to be able to clear out all of these results if you want to start a new dice rolling session. Let's put a clear button to the right of the total. So why don't we put our total text inside of an H stack. Below this we'll add a spacer. And on the right hand side we'll add a button with the title key in action. The title key will be clear. And the action is just rolls, our array, .remove all, open and close parens. And why do we set the button style to .glass and the tint to .red? We also only want this to be available when there are items to clear, so we'll also add .disabled, and in between parens, we'll pass in rolls, our array, .isEmpty. So disabled disables an element if the thing between the parentheses is true. When there's nothing in there, roll.empty is true, so we disable the button. That's what we're looking at the start. Let's add a few rolls. Button is re-enabled, click clear, we remove all from rolls, button is disabled. Nice! Let's make session roll and totals a little bit more prominent, so underneath the totals we'll add .font.title2 and .bold, and we'll put the same below the text for session rolls. Let's also push the text for each individual roll over to the left. We could put the text in an H stack and add a spacer to that, but let's use this time to demonstrate another technique. Underneath the text for roll, we're going to add .frame with a max width and an alignment, and the max width is going to be .infinity, the alignment is going to be .leading, And when we click away to roll, hey, things are aligned left. Nice. And I'd like a divider to show up after each element, so I'm just going to cut that out from outside the for each, paste it between the for each curlies below the text, and we get a nice subtle divider in there. Next, I'm going to show you a super cool animation effect that makes the change in numeric values look like an odometer where the numbers slide into place. This is how you implement it. In the modifiers below our text view that shows totals, we'll add .contentTransition. Code completion says this modifies the view to use a given transition as its method of animating changes to the contents of its views. SwiftUI gives us a bunch of transitions. Press return to accept this, and let's press dot to see some of those predefined transitions. And the one we want is for numericText. It says this is a transition that's specifically designed for text views displaying numeric text. There are specific transitions that will come into play if the numbers are counting up or counting down. Press return to accept this. Now, if you ever use this numeric text transition, you're going to want to add a monospaced digit modifier. So above the content transition, I'm just going to say monospaced digit. This is going to make changes only to the numbers in the text view. So the regular text is going to be unchanged, but any of the digits are going to be monospaced, meaning they all have the same width. With monospaced digits, when the numbers slide up or down, the animation is going to look super slick and super smooth. Now below this, to trigger the animation, we're going to say .animation. Select that option with animation and value. Now the animation can just be .default. This uses the default timing animation curve. You can experiment with the different values if you want, but default is fine here. And for the value, instead of using the reduce function down here in the view, why don't we create a computed property for that? This is going to compute every time there's a change, so it doesn't need to be a state value. We'll say private var, why don't we call this grand total, lower camel case, colon. It'll return an int, and between curlies, AI is recommending exactly what I want, roles.reduced, in between parens 0, plus. That'll sum up all the roles values, put them in grand total, so let's copy that grand total. And in the total string interp, why don't we paste that over the reduce function, and we'll also put grand total into the value that triggers our default animation. Now let's click and ho, go speed racer, go. This is looking like the odometer ticking over. Numbers are tumbling down from the top. Love it. Now let's refine our text. Instead of printing the spelled out numbers of the sides like we're doing here, 4-sided, 6-sided, 100-sided, let's switch this up and instead use the role-playing game standard of just referring to the dice as lowercase d plus the number of sides. That saves us space and it makes the app seem a bit more in the lingo. So I'm going to do this by going up and changing the case names for our dice enum, d4, d6, d8, d10, d12, d20, and d100. Then down in the button action where we're updating the message string, I'll remove the dash-sided die at the end. And now it says messages like, you rolled a 4 on d4, you rolled a 5 on d6. I like it. Now I also think the message text is a little too big, so why don't we change the font for the text field holding the message from large title to just title. Resize looks good. And while it's nice to have the individual role values tumbling down, in the next lesson we'll update the app with a custom struct that will allow us to show a role for each dice type rolled, and we'll keep track of an array of each dice roll of that particular dice type. We'll also show a subtitle of all the rolls on the dice type line, and we'll have a much more professional looking app. So be sure to drop by for that next lesson as we continue to hack.